Okay, hi everybody. This one is just me reviewing one of the things that you learned in class, and that is the quadrant method. So for those of you, and welcome back. Hi, it's Mickey Mykeworth, and if you are watching this, you're probably part of our 12-week year accountability group. And this video is because Casey asked us to do one. And this is the quadrant method. Some of you are learning in group, you're learning that you're going to have methodology. You're going to have to find the way that you track. And we have given you resources from the 12-week year. And oh my gosh, let me go get some of those. Of course, did I know I was doing this video? Yes. And should I have had these in advance? Yes. But some of you are using these journals, these planners. Some of you are using the tools that we give you. And these have a real value in how do you track and what you're doing. But some of you need new ways, and some of you have invented your other ways. Now, most people, the reason that we give this is because it's an effective tool. It's a way to measure your progress. One of the things that happens in accountability is that people will figure out, usually by about round 4, that accountability isn't what you thought it was. That accountability is, one, learning to keep a promise to yourself, but the more that you become more accountable to yourself, the more of yourself you get to enjoy. And as we find accountability, we find harmony. We find harmony with all the parts of ourselves. So just like the tools, you will find the tools that work for the goals that you're using and the mindset that you're building. So these are the tools that we're giving you. I'm going to give you another one. Lots of you have enjoyed the cards method. And this one is the quadrant method. Now, there are kind of two sides to this. There's the regular, and then there's this kind of high achiever version that most people are doing on a big board. So if you're a company, or if you just have multiple goals, having a visual quadrant just allows the brain to go, oh, look, there's 4 parts of my life, or there's 4 areas of goals. And basically the first part is just to say, these are the tasks I have to do in this part of my life, and this part of my life, and this part of my life, and this part of my life. Believe it or not, most people have 4 areas of their life that they are concentrating. Sometimes that might be a health goal, that might be a goal around their career, that might be a small business that they have, that might be a family goal. So sometimes it is just helpful to not have one list. It's helpful to break it into quadrants, and that's the purpose of those quadrants. Now, for those of you who are doing larger goals, I kind of have that same quadrant, but we have these kind of hashtags on them. So when you start looking at those quadrants, you're going to start measuring, like, where is it in kind of a timeline? Like, is this something that has to be done far away, or does it need to be done right away? Sometimes lists come into our mind, and we want to know where in the quadrant does it focus. Is it high on the list? Is it low on the list? So some people are using this also, if you're doing larger planning for the year, or larger planning for a business, a lot of times you'll use this quadrant method, and that quadrant method can be a lot of things. So for our group, we're really going to just use this simple version, is to say, hey, how can I have a visual map of where am I going and what do I need to do? So this for you might be, one of your goals, 2 of your goals, 3 of your goals. You're looking to have whatever is the system that's right for you at this time. All of the systems that people use, whether you're using this, whether or not you're using, a journal, or, a lot of you are using these larger cards that we've talked about, and some of you are using the smaller cards, and some of you are really using these kind of annotated lists. And I'm going to try to get to one right now, where you're really kind of picking a subject. Oops. Am I unplanned or what? Some of you are really kind of doing more of a list, where you have kind of a task list, where you're kind of putting your goals there, and then you're writing a side list. Whatever is the tool that you are using, you're just going to try it on. And what you'll find as you're doing this process is you're going to find what sticks for you at this moment. So don't feel like you have to go, this is the one system and it's yours forever. Very few people keep any methodology more than 5 years. So try on a method, try a new pattern and go, does this make sense for my brain? Because sometimes having too much information actually is going to shut your brain down. Sometimes having not enough information is going to shut my brain down. So for myself, what I learned, again, for me is I really have only a limited amount of head space that I'm going to focus on in a day. So for me, I'm looking at something like this to go, oh, what am I doing on this list? Some of you are using those cards because the larger card method basically is the quadrant method, that you're going to do a card on this, a card on this, a card on this, a card on this. So you are using different methodologies, but you're just looking to go, what is it? We like the quadrant method the most if you're looking at a whole week. And the quadrant method is really quite effective for the week to go, what are the things on my task list for each part of my life or my goals or the things that are there? And that visual cue, for whatever reason, it can be the same amount of things, but because it's not one long list that's going like this feels like it's more broken up and a lot more palatable to do. So there's the quadrant method. It's the simple buy-in of, what are the 4 parts? How am I going to use this? And let me break up the tasks that are in there. If you are doing the overachiever, the high achiever model, and you're trying to do it like as a business, you're really going to use this also as a timeline conversation. And these are usually for more than a week. These are usually for like a quarter or a year of goals. So this is usually, when I see one like this, it's usually on a whole big board or something. When it's this way and it's just simple, this can just be, what's the week ahead? What am I feeling like? So forth. For those of you who are doing consulting and have big projects, the quadrant method probably going to work out really well for you. Have a great day.